Israel launched heavy offensives in central and southern Gaza overnight and into Wednesday, after expanding its offensive against Hamas into more areas where the military had told Palestinians to seek refuge earlier in the war. Residents region reported that there were heavy ings Bureij refugee camp built center Gaza cities, Khan Younis and Rafah south, where tens of thousands people took shelter, where a large part northern Gaza was turned into a pile rubble. Speaking from the Bureij camp, where he has taken shelter since fleeing his home in northern Gaza, Rami Abu Musab said, "It was a night like hell. A cloud of smoke rises over the Gaza Strip as between Israeli soldiers and Islamist Hamas." Militants continue on December 27, 2023. He said warplanes flew overhead, gunfire explosions echoed from eastern edge of the camp, which, like others in Gaza, has housed refugees. Their descendants from 1948 war surrounding Israel's founding now resembles other densely populated neighborhoods. He said that a house near Abu Musab's hideout was hit, but no one could reach the area. Cellphone and internet service remained down for several hours before being gradually restored on Wednesday, the latest in a series of such outages that have complicated recovery efforts. With much of northern Gaza destroyed, Palestinians fear a similar fate awaits other areas, including Khan Younis, where Israeli forces launched ground operations in early December, and a series of refugee camps in central Gaza, where the focus shifted this week. Israel said in-campaign ground offensive were necessary to disperse Hamas and prevent a repeat of the October 7 attack, when militants breached Israel's formidable defenses, killing about 1,200 people, mostly civilians, kidnapping around 240 others. An estimated 129 people remained in captivity after dozens of others were released. Israel said it would take months to achieve its goals. Despite U.S. calls for Israel to reduce civilian casualties and international pressure for a ceasefire in Gaza, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the army is deepening the conflict. "We say to Hamas terrorists, we see you and we will reach you," Netanyahu said. Its offensive is already one of the most devastating military operations in recent history. 85% of Gaza's 2.3 million population have fled their homes and flocked to smaller and smaller areas in recent weeks as the ground offensive expands. For many Palestinians, exodus carries echoes of the mass displacement of 1948, which they call Nakba, or catastrophe. UN officials say a quarter of the region's population is starving to death under Israel's siege, allowing food, water, fuel, medicine and other supplies to leak into the region. Last week, the UN Security Council called for an immediate acceleration of aid deliveries, but there has been little sign of change. U.S. calls for Israel to reduce civilian casualties and international pressure for a ceasefire were also not very effective.